Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Megan McCarthy and today we're celebrating National Hippo Day. And I'm even wearing my hippo pride shirt to celebrate the day. So, yeah, let's see. I am not alone. Let me add to the stream. Laura,
Hello.
would you like to introduce yourself to the people?
The general populace.
Yes.
My name is Laura Nettles. I write stuff, usually in the vein of horror, from adult to children, so a plethora. And I have a dog. His name is Roy. You may hear him from time to time. Yes. He's currently right there.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah.
Such a cute face.
He's adorable.
All right, so today we are going to go over some hippo facts. I made a little video that shows some hippo facts for you all. We're going to do some themed writing sprints and some general chatting. But first, let me go through the chat to say hello to everybody. So Jules was here early. Hello, Jules. She will be back at the appropriate time. Maggie is here. Hello, Maggie. And Devin is here. Carrie is here. Woo! Yay! CB is here. Hello, happy National Hippo Day and International Fan Works Day. Yes, happy International Fan Works Day and happy National Hippo Day. CB says, I just had an idea for a scene in the fic I'm working on that involves Thor mistaking an alpaca for a hippo. That should be an interesting scene. You'll have to let me know when it's published so I can read it because, you know, anything with hippos, I'm like, yes. Isabella is here. Hi, Isabella. Oh, that's such a cute cat that you've got there under the Christmas tree. Let's see. Happy time. Happy hippo time, yes.
Yeah.
Hip hippo hooray for National Hippo Day. Thank you, CB. I love this shirt. I got it for my birthday, and I've held off wearing it all week because I knew today I would want to wear it. So, Maggie says, we love Roy. Yes, we do.
He's giving me the puppy eyes right now. Like,
Oh.
don't you want to do stuff with me?
Devin says, nice shirt. I was hoping for a full hippo costume, though. Oh, I wish I had a hippo costume. That would be great. I would totally wear that. That is definitely something I would do. Roy. And Jules is back. Hello. Welcome, welcome. So let me star that so I know where we are. Okay, so I think it's time to share my hippo video. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. Let's see. Add to stream.
The majestic hippo.
Yes, the majestic hippo. So it doesn't have any sound, but I will go over all the facts with you as they show up. Hippos can hold their breath for about 5 minutes at a time. Then they need to resurface for air even while they are sleeping. They do this process automatically. It's something they naturally do. They just will like float up to the air while they're sleeping and breathe. The word hippopotamus loosely means river horse in Greek. Hippos can't swim. They float and they sink to the bottom because they're so heavy, and they walk around, and then they bounce up to the surface so they can breathe. Yeah. And isn't that hippo cute? Hippos secrete pinkish natural chemicals, sometimes called blood sweat, that acts as a sunscreen for hippo-sensitive skin. I wish I secreted sunscreen when I get out in the sun because I burn like nothing else. A hippo's bite has a force of about 2,000 pounds per square inch. Humans bite around 126 pounds per square inch, which is quite a big difference. So don't get bitten by a hippo. It will hurt a lot. I wonder what would happen if a vampire hippo bit you.
Oh, gosh.
Hippos only eat about 1 to 1.5% of their body weight every day. They forage for food at night on land, preferring to eat grass and other plants that cross their path. So they eat very little compared to their massive size, which is surprising because you'd think they'd need to eat a lot to sustain themselves, but because they float around in the water, they don't really need to eat that much. Hippos are the third largest land animal in the world. They are also the third heaviest. I think the second heaviest is the rhinoceros, and the first is an elephant, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Hippos can run up to 19 miles per hour for short distances, so don't try to outrun one. They will catch up to you and bite you with those 2,000 pounds per square inch bite, which does not sound pleasant. So don't try to outrun one. The most famous hippo is Fiona from the Cincinnati Zoo. She was born prematurely and became famous for her miraculous survival. The best Twitter accounts to follow for hippo content are the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, the Cincinnati Zoo, and the San Antonio Zoo. They post hippo content almost every day. And that is the end of my little video. Yay! So I
trying to eat
actually
the rest of my ramen. No, sir.
No ramen for you. That would make you very gassy, and nobody would want that. So I made a list on Twitter for all the zoos that post their hippo content. So let me post the link to that in the chat. Hopefully that worked. Let's see if it shows up on as a link on the. There it goes. Okay, it did show up as a link. So, if you want to follow hippos and get cute animal pictures in general, those zoos have the most hippo content of all the zoos on Twitter. Let's see. Vampire hippos. That's a story idea for someone. Maybe
What?
a story for Laura? Carrie says, be right back. Need to make mashed potatoes for dinner. I made mashed potatoes last night for dinner, and they were delicious. They were the red russet potatoes, and I love the skin on the potatoes and leaving them in, and so good. And here is the link to the Twitter list so you can follow all the lovely hippos. Yes. Yes, Roy. Poor sad Roy.
I know. It's like, you're ignoring me.
So let's see.
Sad soul.
So I went over the Twitter list. I guess it's time to start our hippo writing prompts.
Do hippos
like potatoes? I do not know if hippos like potatoes. I know that they like celery, and you can see them eating cabbages, and but they're herbivores that will eat, mostly herbivores. They do occasionally eat small animals, I think. But they will eat whatever they come across as they are foraging at night. Any vegetation they will consume. So they will probably eat a potato if it was given to them, but I don't think they naturally eat potatoes. CB says, are hippos endangered? Hippos are, I don't think they're what's the word I'm looking for? Hippos are
vulnerable.
Let's see. They're at risk of becoming extinct, but they aren't quite at the endangered level yet. They've because of the ivory trade, they've started going after hippos for the ivory because they've made so much progress on like saving elephants from the ivory trade. So they are, being eradicated for their tusks, which is very sad. Hippos kill more people than Nile crocodiles. Yes, this is true. Hippos are one of the most dangerous animals in the world because they are so aggressive and because they are they're not just aggressive, but they're also very temperamental. That's the word I was looking for, temperamental. So one moment they're fine, and then the next moment they're like, going in a rage and attacking things.
Run away!
So it's best not to get too close to these guys, as adorable as they are. Maggie says hippos give birth underwater and the baby swims to the surface before mom nudges them to shallower water. Yes, this is true. Although they do sometimes give birth on land, like at the zoos. CB says, I thought that was the case, but I couldn't remember. I know rhinos are or were really endangered. Same with elephants. Yeah, most of the big animals in the African continent seem to be at risk for going extinct. All the big ones like rhinos, leopards, hippos, giraffes, all those. Isabella says they're very territorial, so when something they don't like is in their territory, they'll most likely attack it. Yes. I was watching who's that angry chef? What's his name again?
Gordon Ramsay.
Yes, I was watching Gordon Ramsay's show where he goes around and to different places and cooks food against one of the other chefs that is like from the location. And they were fishing near some hippos, and it was just his reaction, like, is the hippo gonna come after us now? Is that a sign that it's gonna come after us? And the guy was like, no, it's fine. The other guy was so chill about it. It was hilarious. Ooh, and Maggie has posted a hippo birth video in case you want to watch one of the hippos at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo be born, which would be really cool to watch. No, not the elephants. Yeah, no, not the elephants or the giraffes or any of the other cute creatures out there. It's so sad. Got to protect all the animals.
Roy is pushing my chair with me in it. Excuse you, sir.
So we were doing writing prompts. So
with banners.
Yes. So before I get started, about how many minutes do you think we should do for the sprints? People in the chat and on screen.
How long of a piece are we writing?
I'm thinking these are just like little exercises I'll show you the first one so we can decide based on the prompt how much time you think you need. So the first prompt is hippos are quick to anger. Write a scene where your character's emotions rapidly change from one to another.
Devin.
Maggie says they have cut the elephant ivory trade by cutting off the tusks, and now the elephants will come to the rangers for tusk trims because they know the bad humans will kill them for it. Interesting. I did not know that. CB says there are about 3 million alpacas on Earth right now. That's a lot of alpacas. Actually, compared for the whole Earth, that's not that many. Devin says 75 minutes, of course. But no, I don't think we will be doing a 75-minute sprint. 20 says Maggie, or 25. CB says 20. And Isabella says 35. So how about we do 25 seems to be like in the middle of that. So we'll do a 25-minute sprint. Let me get the timer set up. 25.
And Roy now has a squeaky toy.
So it's probably perfect timing that we're going on a sprint. So he can squeak till his heart's content.
It's a fish. It's a squeaky fish.
Share screen. Corn tab. Fancy dress race. Share. Okay. Let me go back to StreamYard so I can see. Okay. So we'll do 6 characters because that's as many as I can do. We'll set this. Pick your fancy dress character. And then we will get started in. I think I'm going to go with. Who do I want? I think I'll go with the turtle because the turtle is just so cute.
Master Oogway. I'll
Yes,
go with the dinosaur.
the dinosaur. Okay, so we'll get start. Which one do I turn off? This one, the music.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Can I make this bigger? dinosaur. Yay.
I win!
Woo. So how did your little writing sprint go?
Good. Got 403 words.
Nice.
So, not too shabby.
I did pretty well too. I reworked part of my chapter 5 is what the part I reworked, and I think I made it better than what it was, which is good and important.
Yay!
So I think if you guys want, I will read it what I've written so far. I think it shows pretty well the difference of her emotions, the Grandma Judith character that I have in this. But let me first find where we were in the chat so I can go through that before I start reading. Maggie says elephants are super smart, which they are. Isabella says, haha, I started this assassin book where the character had a lot of mood swings, and I realized that it was because I was just having a really bad week and the emotions were put onto the character. That happens to me all the time. Maggie says every time Roy's toy squeaks, Agent Mayhem looks at his toy.
Well, he's pulled his bed under this table, so he's like right at my feet.
Oh, nice.
Oh, and now he's wandered out.
Carrie says, the phenomenal timing of my daughter. I finished dinner, hubby came home, made up plates, went to get her out of bed to find her passed out sleeping. She's been talking and singing from the minute I laid her down at 1, but at some point very recently, she finally zonked out, would not budge when I tried to wake her. Oh, man. So we're going to let her sleep till 6 and just rewarm her plate. Nice. Maggie got 310 words. Isabella got a little editing done and made an aesthetic for one of her books.
Yay!
Eva says, Happy Hippo Day. Happy Hippo Day, Eva. And hello.
Aww.
CB got 670 words. Holy cow. Yes, holy cow.
Charlie's here.
Oh, Charlie's here. Hello, Charlie. Welcome.
Happy Hippo Day.
Thank you.
Yay!
Devin did supper. So I think I will read my little thing and you guys can tell me what you think of it. What's that thing you're fiddling with? Grandma Judith asked. It's a speaker so we can listen to music, Madison said. The speaker made a noise indicating it was on. That tiny thing, said Grandma Judith incredulously. Yep, we're going to listen to music from when you were younger to see what memories pop up. Madison sat down next to her grandmother and played from the playlist she created. Rum and Coca-Cola by the Andrews Sisters began to play. No, 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 this noise is terrible, Grandma Judith said, covering her ears with her hands. Madison skipped the rest of the song, and Doris Day started to croon from the speakers. Are you trying to hurt my ears? Grandma Judith snapped. Turn that music off. I'd rather sit in silence. Madison took a chance and played the next song on the playlist, Frank Sinatra's 5 Minutes More. This is good music, Grandma Judith said, dropping her hands from her ears and leaning back in her chair. And that's all I got during the sprint.
And now Roy's on the couch.
Look at Roy. Let's see if I can do. Oh, nope, not that. Nope, not that. What am I trying to do? This is what I'm trying to do. There we go. Look at Roy. Let me take this banner off. Oh, what a cute puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a cute puppy. We're talking about you, Roy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
If the goal was to make people quick to anger, I just have to say, anybody who would rather listen to Frank Sinatra over Doris Day, not a friend of mine.
This way. There we go. Okay.
Do you want me to read what I wrote?
Yes. Obviously.
Okay. Okay, this is horror-ish, obviously. The twisted, gnarled branches of the deformed tree reached towards me. Whether to ensnare me or ward me off, I did not know. Leaves decayed at the base of the exposed roots, shed by rotten wind. Like me, cast off by a dying family back to our roots. Great-great-grandfather and his derelict mansion. Heart in my throat, clocking it with its viscous, pulsing blood, I knocked on the huge wooden doors. The ornate engravings were wearing away, slowly being lost to time, like the man inside. I bowed my head as I waited for someone to answer. The wind whipped at my peacoat, shearing straight through my stockings. They were the warmest things I owned. Crack! The doors parted as pieces of dead vine and clods of dirt fell into my braided hair. A woman peered out. "Is that all you brought?" asked the live-in nurse, Miss Josephine, staring at my single piece of handheld luggage. Of all the things to start with. "Yes," I snapped back. The one thing I hated being brought up, our family's lack of money. "It's everything I need and more." Miss Josephine bristled, but stepped back, ushering me inside. As my feet crossed the threshold, my mercurial mood shifted once again. There was no furniture in the foyer, just cobwebs so thick they looked like suspended snow. The mosaic floor was coated in a layer of grime. The skittering of rat feet echoed, belaying their sighs. They must be about as big as our old dog Lucy. She died last year when I was just 7, after my brother died. "Come along, then," Miss Josephine said, while climbing the crumbling staircase to the next floor. The carpet running down the center of the once grand staircase was moldy and missing pieces. The enormous rats must have taken some for nesting. Crunch. Scream. My foot went straight through the wood, up to my hip. Adrenaline pumping in my ears, my fear transformed. Who cared if my family wanted me to live here? This place would kill me. It took a few moments of both of us heaving me away from the hole, but I was freed. I took my suitcase and marched right back out of that hellhole, took one last glance at the dead tree and stuck my tongue out at it. It could keep my dying family. I was starting a new one.
I like it a lot. That moment when the character goes through the floorboards, I was like, ooh. So let's see. Maggie says, "Hello, Charlie."
Hello.
CB says, "Shane and Steph are having a big argument." Carrie says, "Aw, Roy boy."
Yeah.
CB says, "I like both, but honestly, I prefer old Blue Eyes. Sorry."
I think this is my grandmother's fault. My grandmother hated Frank Sinatra and loved Tony Bennett. And apparently they had a beef back in the day or something. I don't know. But yeah.
That's funny. Like Frank Sinatra, all the old music just reminds me of my grandmother, like the Rat Pack, especially Dean Martin.
Oh,
It just
Martin.
she loved Dean Martin like a lot, and would listen to him constantly. And so going through like the old music from around that time period is like very nostalgic for me.
The Dean Martin specials were just classic.
But originally, when I first wrote this scene, Grandma Judith kind of liked all the songs. She didn't really have any reaction to it. So this time she has more of a
Oh,
reaction to the
yeah.
music, which I think suits the story better than her just going along with everything.
I was just making a funny.
Oh yeah.
Though I will say, at least on the Doris Day thing, if she found Doris Day more interesting, they could try showing her some of Doris Day's movies.
Well, she didn't like Doris Day. She liked Frank
No,
Sinatra.
I was saying if you needed
Oh yeah.
another thing to help her remember,
Yeah.
because Frank only did, I think, 1 or 2 movies, and they are things that exist in the universe.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to look them up because I love old movies in general, and they crack me up nowadays, especially with situations changing and culture changing. But the song that she reacts to the most, where her memory starts, is Nat King Cole's "Mona Lisa,"
Oh,
which I love. That song, it just Such a romantic song.
Nat King Cole's voice, man. I
Oh,
love.
yeah. Eva says, gasp, Laura wrote horror?
I
I
know, I'm
know.
sorry.
So surprising.
Such a shock.
CB says, Stephanie Marie, where were mom and dad when Marissa betrayed me? Where were they when I almost died because of her? Where were they when I needed their help? Nowhere to be found. That's where.
Oh no. Roy, stop it!
CB says Frank Sinatra was John Bon Jovi's great uncle.
Yep.
Interesting. Maggie says, do you want mine? Yes, I would like to read yours. If you can type it in the chat, I will read it. Maggie says, I liked Laura's. Yes, it was very, I like the description of knocking on the door, that part. The description is very real.
I don't know
And
why, but it made me think a lot about like Old Man Tithonus stories.
I've never
I
heard
don't know
of,
that.
yeah.
Tithonus was a Greek hero who was granted one wish from the gods and asked for eternal life. And they granted it to him, but they did not also give him eternal youth because
Oh.
he didn't ask for it. So he lived forever and constantly aged.
So Maggie just sent me the story on Discord, so I'm going to read it out for you guys. Unless you don't mind, or do you mind, Maggie? I will wait. While we wait, Eva says, "Oh, I heard great uncle. Now I'm thinking of opening Ancestry." Eva says, "I love Laura's sensory descriptions." Yes, that is the words that I was missing.
Always so good.
Eva
It's
says,
like
too creepy, but also just creepy enough.
This week is the first time I've written since November. So.
Oh, nice. And go ahead. Okay. And Maggie says to Eva, you are addicted to that site. Yes. Okay. So Maggie's is there was the sweet chime of the door as she finished putting in the day's numbers. Picking up Mrs. Thorne's books, she called out, I'll be right there, Hattie. I got those Hippo books you wanted for your students. His laughter rolled out like thunder, sudden, loud, and startling. Hattie the Hippo ordered books on her sisters. Just like that, her calm serenity was gone. She inhaled in annoyance. Lance, the judge said you weren't allowed to come into my shop, and Mrs. Thorne deserves respect for all the work she does for the library reading program. He sneered at her. You should respect me. We may be divorced, but you will always be my wife. Natalia blinked once, then rubbed her hand over her pockets, feeling the taser on the left and the pepper spray on the right. She couldn't pepper spray him. She'd ruin her book stock. She'd have to let him get closer, which she didn't want to do. She was terrified. You're drunk. Go home and beat your new girlfriend. She left me. She doesn't love me like you do. She calmly tried to keep the counter between them. I don't love you after what you did to us. She trembled as he stumbled toward her. The stench of cheap rum was stronger than the soothing smell of her books. All her fear, all her terror came back. Palms sweating, she watched him pick up a book. Us? Oh, your sister. I'm glad she's dead. He flung the book at the painting. No, Natalia jumped as the book collided with the last oil painting her sister did. The canvas tore. Oopsie, Lance chuckled drunkenly. Something possessed her, something she never felt. It burned in her veins and pounded in her head. The world turned scarlet and black. The next month, the town all talked about where was the judge's son Lance. The town's resident mean drunk was gone, and Natalia had realized the thing she felt that night was called rage. Ooh, I like it. Very dramatic.
She did him in.
Sounds like he deserved it.
A little bit.
Eva says, yay, grats on writing again, Laura.
Thanks.
I enjoy Ancestry, but not addicted. My addictions are clearly defined and all consumed. Eva says, I've used the site since 2012, but not for a full year have I paid. CB says, hashtag he had it coming.
He had it coming.
All right. Let me
What you smelling,
set up.
dude?
Nope. Okay, there we go. Now the thing is in full screen. Let me set up the timer thing again.
What's the next prompt?
Oh, yes, it would help if I gave you the prompt. So, the prompt is hippos are one of the most dangerous animals in the world. Write a scene where your character is in physical danger they aren't sure they can escape.
There's no horror in that.
So I don't know that I'll be here through the whole sprint. My dad's supposed to be coming down
Oh, fun.
at some point, and I don't know when he's going to walk in the door. So
Sounds
right now.
but knowing his timing, that would have been perfect. Like I'm kind of surprised he didn't walk in right then and be like, "Who me?" Because
Does he want to be famous? You can join us.
Maggie says to Charlie, I was singing that song in my head as I wrote. Eva says, I once shared with a pal that I was writing a collection of children's poems. One was about hippos, and I read them the draft and they scoffed at me. Oh no. Hippos aren't nice though. They literally eat the children. Sigh. Know your target audience. Yes. It does help to have the right people reading your story. All right. So, how long do we want? Should we do another 25-minute for this sprint or less
Maybe a
or
20?
more? 20?
Yeah.
Okay. 20. Not 2, 20. All right. Oh, there's only 4. Let's go.
Oh, speak of the devil. Somebody's here. Bye.
Bye. All right, we'll get started in 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh wait, I didn't pick. Who did I pick? Maybe I'll be the chicken. Yeah, I'll be the chicken this time. Who are you gonna be, Laura?
I'm Batman.
Batman. Okay. We'll get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, it would help if I clicked the right button. Oh no, not the music. There we go.
The music's your favorite. Better than Sinatra.
It's the chicken! Yay! Chicken, 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 chicken. There we go.
Woot.
Woot woot. So, how did it go?
Pretty good.
Good. I did pretty well too. I was reworking a scene that I had written before to make it fit the prompt, but I didn't get to the point where it, the character feels like they're in physical danger. I got like up to that point. But let's see in the chat. So Carrie had said, or had started singing the Christmas hippo song. Mom says the hippo would eat me up, but then teacher says the hippo is a vegetarian. Maggie said bye to Charlie. CB wanted Batman to win. Maggie also chose the reincarnated Velociraptor. Jules says, I am making pancakes for dinner, so I'll be imagining a scene where hippos are fighting over who gets the last pancake.
Very nice.
Eva says, my godson is considering joining his school's cheer team, and I'm so stoked. Plays it mostly cool. Maggie says, we won. Let's make soup now.
Eat that chicken.
Ooh, chicken tortilla soup sounds really good right now. CB says 125 words that time. I have no idea how many words I got. About 3/4 of a page is what I got.
I got 341.
Nice. Eva says, I'm working with Trello to try and manage my life. Got a bit of progress on that setup and got a snack. I have complicated feelings about like Trello, and Asana is another one that works similar to Trello. It just has a prettier interface in my opinion. But it's very addicting to like create put your whole to-do list on there and just knock it off one by one. You know, make your to-do list like really small, like go wash your hands after or before dinner or something. I don't know. I'm making stuff up. But the more you have to knock off, it's fun. But it's not as effective for me as I would like it to be. CB says, acrid black smoke rose from the oven. Again, the smoke alarm began to shriek loudly over the cacophony of swears and yelps coming from me. Bruce opened the windows. Clint opened the patio doors. Jay turned on the fan. And then there's no more. Carrie finished eating her dinner and wrote some. Nice.
Yay.
Eva says, haha, yeah, the completed task concept feels fun. I don't know if it'll work for me, but I'm going to give it a shot. It's always good to try something new and see what works. Especially if with ADHD, they recommend switching up the way you set up your like to-do lists and stuff like that, just so you have that novel feeling. Because that novelty is important for like doing stuff. And I don't know. So do you have anything for us to listen to?
Yeah.
Story time.
I will give a little warning. This is definitely horror. So,
Okay. So I will be prepared to take it off in case it's a little too scary for me.
okay. Pure light engulfed Harold. A pulsing in his ears drove him to his knees, vertigo assaulting him. Where was the ground? He was falling but not landing. Head over heels, knees over elbows, crown over tailbone, insides over outsides. Bang! His side slammed into something solid, unyielding and cold. He was laying down. Finally. Chitter, chitter, click, chitter. What? Harold asked groggily, opening his eyes now that the all-encompassing, blinding light had faded to a more natural midday intensity. Large bug-like creatures were leaning over him, examining his face. Click, chitter, click. One mantis-type creature pushed a button on its armband. Harold was once again weightless, now floating at thorax height. His brain slowly stopped swimming around his scrambled head. Where am I? Who are you? What are you doing? He asked, unsure if they would even understand him. Please let me go. I want to go home. Tears came unbidden to the corners of his eyes and slid down the sides of his face into his ears. It was uncomfortable to hear the saline enter and creep towards his eardrums. More tears welled against his will, compounding the problem. Chitter. His clothes disintegrated, ashes falling to the metal flooring, only to be swept away by a small electronic contraption. Click. Harold was let down onto a bed of some sort, but where his skin stuck to it. Some type of viscous yellow sap. He was sinking into it, an inch, 2 inches. The yellow substance crawled up the sides of his face. Chitter, click, click. Harold's body went rigid. All non-essential muscle functions seemed to have been turned off. He could not close his eyes. The world tinted amber as his eyes were slowly encased, his nose sealed. It oozed down his nostrils towards the thin plate protecting his brain. His breathing brought the substance into his airways, coating the finger-like membranes lining his lungs. No more air. There was nothing he could do, vision darkening, the last sight imprinting on his retinas, grinning insectoids chittering in laughter.
Ooh, that was yeah.
Physical danger, I guess?
Yeah, that fit the prompt very well. Oh, that it reminded me of R.L. Stein a little bit. Just one of the descriptions in there, I was like, that kind of reminds me of something R.L. Stein would write.
Awesome.
Very good. Very creepy. I like him though.
It's like, I don't think I went too far with
No.
drowning to death in viscous fluid, but, you know.
Viscous is such a good word. It just sounds like gross.
Yeah.
Let's see. CB says, tomorrow is the last day of my midterm break, so I'm back to doing clarinet practice on Thursday. Nice. CB says, that reminded me of the scene in Star Wars when Han Solo gets encased in carbonite. Yes. Yeah.
Good times.
This is, I think it was a little more like visceral than the Han Solo getting encased in carbonite, but it was, yeah. Oh, let's see. I have 2 messages. Aha. So Maggie has sent the prompt. So let me read this out. Zaya backed away from the Hydra rising from the crevice in the cave floor. The vaporous mist burned her eyes, and for a moment she was certain she was hallucinating. Hydras didn't exist anymore. They were hunted into extinction centuries ago after it was discovered their blood could kill the gods. The multi-headed serpent was as tall as a 2-level home as it reared back to snarl at her. She had no choice but to shift to her beast. Her belloforma emerged. Claws ached to drip with blood. Fangs longed to rend flesh. Her twin tails swished. They and her odd coloring were all she had left of her sister soul. Dark golden fur on one side, almost ebony brown on the other. The Hydra moved to one side. Its closest head struck, but she leaped away. Gouging out its eye, she knew her only hope was to blind it and not get bitten. The game of wolf and snake continued. Sometimes she managed to claw it, mostly she missed. It spat venom at her, splattering the weird hot rock walls. Steam rose, and Zaya realized the scent of the vapors was the same. The strange, tiring vapor was evaporated venom. She couldn't fight it in the confined space of the cave. Retreating, she barely saved herself from its fangs or being wrapped and crushed by its tail as she fled back down the caverns to the reflecting pool. Looking down at herself, she could see the brown spreading into the gold. She was losing her sister's coloring. Her bloodlust almost overcame in that moment. Castora's healer soul was gone, and Zaya couldn't being alone. I think there's a word missing there. Couldn't stand being alone in her body anymore. The Hydra tackled her as they tumbled into the mirror-smooth water. Sinking into the oddly warm pool, Zia resisted the need to breathe as long as she could as long as she could, as the weight of the Hydra dragged them down, and her claws made ribbons of blood and flesh in the clear water until she couldn't fight anymore. Ooh, that was good. I liked it. I like how Maggie always has a mythical element to her writings.
Mm-hmm.
It brings a new, refreshing take on these old stories. And that was 337 words. Wow.
Yay!
See, we can
Episode
never remember
5.
what movie that happens in. Episode 5.
Empire Strikes Back.
I do not have them memorized.
The beginning
That
of
is
6 is when they go and save him from Jabba the Hutt.
Yes. So they did 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And then
then
7,
there's
8, 9.
4.
Plus Rogue One.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've watched them all once, except for the most recent movies that have come out. They weren't really for me. I don't think. Not my kind of story. But I enjoyed I now enjoy knowing enough that I can talk Star Wars with people who enjoy it.
The Rogue One teaser trailer is what inspired one of my books ideas.
Oh yeah, you were saying that was the Polynesian one, right?
No, this one's a different. That one's based off of a dream.
Oh, okay.
No, this one is the Brainwash Brothers Gates of Ascension.
Mm. Maggie says the Spartan Chimera has been the hardest story I have written because it requires so much research. Nice. I love doing research. It's one of my favorite things about writing is digging deep and finding interesting facts. And Solo, a Star Wars story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. The next prompt that I have for us is hippos secrete a pinkish substance that acts as sunscreen. Write a scene where your character either secretes a substance, for example, sweat, or slathers sunscreen on themselves. CB says, I love the prequels. I thought the sequels were passable and the original trilogy were meh. So how long should we do for this one? What's a good time? 20 minutes, 25 minutes?
Potato, potato.
Potato, potato. Let's do 20 minutes.
I might go sci-fi with this one.
I had a feeling you would probably go sci-fi with this one. But let's see. Let me see if I can't. Let's. Oops. There we go. Okay. So I want to have 6 for 20 minutes. We want to turn the sound off because no one wants to hear that. Fools for, oh goodness, are you kidding me? I have to start all over again? Okay. I probably should have clicked that button first. There we go. Okay, so we've got a kangaroo dog, a clown, a hot dog, a sumo wrestler, a chicken, and a bottle of soda. I think I'm gonna go with this is a tough one. I think I'll go with the kangaroo dog because that kangaroo dog just is cute.
Seriously, like you think it's a kangaroo, but then like the tail?
The tail is wrong, but it's got a kangaroo face. I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Oh, apparently I did not turn the sound off. There we go. Go.
Perfection.
It's the chicken again. So Maggie won.
Dang it!
My dogs are like demanding dinner and they still have 30 minutes left. I'm like, calm down, guys. Calm down. They are not calming down. So Maggie was thinking cyberpunk. CB is wondering why she opened IMDb and chose the bottle of soda. And there was Maggie choosing the chicken, the reincarnated velociraptor. Bagok!
I was distracted. I went to the bathroom and then I ate a couple cupcakes and then I wrote.
Ooh, nice.
But I got 304 words.
Nice. You did all that and got 304 words?
Yeah.
Nice. Impressive. I got a little stuck, but I managed to come up with a little bit of my story. I took my character from the story I've been working on and put her at the beach and had her putting sunscreen on herself. Let me read it to you for you guys, even though it's not really finished. Madison set up her spot on the beach, laying out her towel, putting the umbrella up, and arranging her cooler so that it was protected from the sun. From the depths of her beach bag, she pulled out a can of sunscreen, the nice spray kind that absorbs quickly into the skin without leaving a sticky residue. She sprayed the sunscreen on her arms and legs with the speed and skill of a professional airbrush artist. She was eager to dip her toes into the water, and putting on sunscreen was such a hassle. Madison looked at the people around her. There was a family with a young toddler, teenagers tanning in the sun, and a group of boys tossing a football around. There was no one Madison felt comfortable with asking for help with spraying sunscreen on her back. And that's where I ended. I was like, how is she going to get the sunscreen on her back if she's there at the beach by herself? Like, that's a challenge. Like, trying to spray it like this. Like, I was like, how do I describe this position? Like,
half Nelson, full Nelson.
So, what is your story?
Okay. The pneumatic hiss of the spacecraft's inner door filled the small room. Time to gear up to go out into the void. Ryan dipped his hand into the container of pink protectant and slathered it on his face, ears, and neck. Its oily texture unpleasant but necessary. It would shield him from harmful rays that pierced through even the tinted visor of the spacesuits. He shimmied into the rest of his equipment and locked the helmet into place. Time to go do repairs. The outer door whooshed open, the air being pulled out into the vacuum of space. Ryan stepped out onto the side of the ship, his magnetized boots allowing him to traverse the exterior of the hull. His target valve was on the other side. He would have to walk 180 degrees around the circumference of the ship. As his head rounded the edge of the docking bay, halfway there, his eyes widened and breath escaped his lungs. There, floating in silence, was a being the scanners had not picked up. Its large yellow eyes peered out from a mass of boiling tentacles. There was intelligence there, but not human. As the tip of a purple, writhing appendage approached Ryan's helmet, he could feel the pink protectant begin to bubble and peel away from his skin. The Geiger counter on his suit was lighting up like a Yule log. Yellows, oranges, and reds. No air to carry it screaming. As the tentacle came into contact with his helmet, it passed straight through to his head, then inside his head. He could feel it rooting around for something. Memories spilled out of his eyes, and the future filled him instead. Civilizations would rise and fall, vast nebulas form and die, universes expire, just like he would in 3 seconds, 2, 1, blackness.
Oh, I like it. Oh, that so many thoughts, like just going through his head. I was like, no, not his brain.
Yes, his brain.
And then the memories coming out of the eyes. That's such a good visual right there. Just makes me not want to ever go out into space. I think I'll stay here where I know the creatures and don't have
Do
to
you
worry
know?
about.
Let's go to the Marina Trench.
Okay, well, I'll avoid that and then just stay on land where it's nice and safe. Carrie
Except
says,
for
I
Australia.
have chills, Laura. Chills.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a good one. I'm enjoying these getting to read everyone's prompts for this story, these story prompts. They're so clever. Let's see.
Yes, Roy. Oh, you're so cute.
So our next prompt. Oh, hold on. Before we go there, let's go back to this. Maggie has sent hers, or is about to send it. She's typing. I will see. There we go. Okay. With the failing of the ozone layer, increased radiation from solar storms, and multiple sources in the workplace at home, NanoShield is offering a way to protect you and your tech. No more bulky suits that weigh you down or make you sweaty. This is a clear spray on layer of hyper-reflective nanite bots that will protect your skin and your tech implants, and best of all, it feels as smooth as silk and just as light. Never worry about skin cancer from the sun or tech damage from a solar flare again. Claims not verified by the FDMA. The nearly naked model in a swimsuit sat by a pool in front of the shiny cityscape. Her skin glistened like it was covered in glitter as she used her iris implant to surf social media and solar activity warnings. Vatina shook her head. She wanted to ignore the ads for NanoShield, but she couldn't. She wanted to hate all those who could afford it because she was sick and tired of lumbering around in heavy protective clothing woven with leaded threads. Tired of slathering her exposed hands with gelatinous goop. She began to make a plan. She would work extra and put the money aside. Skimping on meals and tech upgrades and living in the cheapest places she could find would not be a sacrifice if she could just be freed of the smothering weight of shielded clothing. 2 years later, she had enough credits, made an appointment, and went to NanoShield offices. She was surprised to see so many in the waiting room, so many who glittered with NanoShield. Sitting next to a man, she watched him trying to smooth the curling edges of a scratch on the back of his hand. Mr. Neese, I'm sorry, we can't repair your spray until you pay your past due bill, a glittery woman announced. But my hand, I can't work without it, he begged. Not our problem. You were warned not to damage your spray. Come back when you can pay for it. But the repairs cost as much as the first spray. You never told me it would cost so much to maintain it. I don't want to die from cancer. I can't go back to wearing those. Security, the woman called. Bettina stared as he was dragged out, screaming NanoShield was a scam. Ooh, I like it.
Scammy scam.
Oh, and Carrie
Carrie's here.
says, oh, Carrie's here. I thought you were going to send it on Discord. I was like waiting, like, is the message going to come through any second now?
No, I said I was
I,
coming on.
yeah, I can't wait to hear your quick to anger prompt.
Okay. Also, hi everybody. Okay. When they finished their meal, another member of the gang led them to an empty tent to sleep. Bridget busied herself with changing and setting up her cot, but noticed Felicity looked distressed. "What's wrong?" she asked. "You promised I could be less formal with you," said Felicity. "That includes telling you what I think?" "Of course," said Bridget. "Then I think you are far too trusting," Felicity snapped. Bridget took a step back as if she had been slapped. "What do you mean?" "I mean, these people are thieves," Felicity said, pointing to the door of the tent. "Just because one says they know Dr. Corey, you're going to let them join us? How do you know they won't steal the spell book and sell it to the Shadow Brigade if it becomes profitable or advantageous in any way?" "I don't know," said Bridget. "Call it intuition." Felicity scoffed. "When the world ends, we'll see how good your intuition is." Without another word, she climbed onto her cot, rolled over to her side, and started to snore. Bridget watched her companion before settling in. She took some time to clear her mind and slowly drifted off to sleep.
Nice. Very tense there. Like the interaction was very well, it was just very tense. I liked it. I liked the tension, which seems to be the only word I can think of right now is tense. Let's see. So Maggie says, "Here, slimy, slimy, eat the brains." CB says 129 words. Nice. Maggie says 393. Mine starts as an ad for the Nano Shield.
Mm-hmm.
CB says too many pictures of Robert Downey Jr. to distract her. CB says I spent most of that trying to play chess and getting my butt kicked. My cousin could beat me at chess when he was 8 or 9 or so. I have never been good at chess. The problem is I can't think that far ahead. I get too distracted, and then I just like, let me move over here just for the fun of it, see what happens, and then I promptly lose. And yeah, not very good at chess. CB says 3 hours later, I won the Mario Kart tournament. Dad was so mad that he lost that he went to visit with Gerald, the alpaca. The cake was baked, stacked, filled, dirty iced, and decorated. Nice. Maggie says, I heard an ad for an MLM health supplement as I started and thought, what if sunscreen was a scam? Ooh, that's a good one.
Brilliant.
I see so many MLM ads when I look for jobs. It's like, and they try to hide themselves as like, look, we're a normal company. And then you get to the bottom and they're like, no training necessary. We'll train you. And I'm like, oh, that's a warning sign right there. As much as it would be nice to have like free training and stuff for all these jobs. Ooh. Maggie says, someone has trust issues and someone is naive. Yes. All right.
Roy is begging for attention. I think I need to feed him. I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, our next prompt came from Laura, I believe. Imagine you have a hippo purse that turns into a real hippo when wet. How would you use it? This one should be a really fun prompt, I think. I can't wait to see what other people come up with. Let me remember how to get back to... There we go. Okay. So, race again. Shuffle characters. Ooh, now we have a cat, Batman, a pirate, a banana, the kangaroo dog, and a dinosaur.
Kitty
What
cat.
would you like? Kitty cat? Nice. I don't know what I mean, I love that kangaroo dog, but I kind of want to be the banana just because it's such a pretty yellow. I don't know. I think I'll be the banana. It's nice and cheerful.
Batman.
Batman.
Of course.
I'm Batman.
My favorite superhero.
All right, we'll get started.
It's like Batman, Marvel, rest of DC.
We'll get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And it's the kangaroo dog. Did I pick that one or did I pick the banana? I think I picked the banana.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But yay! Perfect timing, Roy.
Mhm.
So I fed the dogs that spring. So I didn't get any writing done, but I did think about the prompt. And I think that I would use a hippo purse that turns into a real hippo as like pepper spray or something. Like if someone was trying to steal from me, I'd just grab like a bottle of water, pour it on the purse, and be like, "Attack hippo, go!" How'd you guys do?
Okay. I sat there staring at it for the last 5 minutes, trying to figure out the ending, like, sentence.
Oh, yeah. The ending sentence is usually the hardest. That and the first sentence.
But I got 376.
Nice. How'd you do, Carrie?
Good. I wrote a little silly exchange that I think Charlie will appreciate, so I'm sending it to them on Discord.
Nice. Well, let's see. In the chat, CB says, I got extremist vibes from Maggie's prompt. Jules says, I am back from pancake dinner. We have a few extra left over in case a hungry hippo comes calling. Oh, pancake dinners are always delicious. I mean, I just love pancakes in general. I prefer them to waffles. Like, pancakes are just, like,
banana
nice.
macadamia nut pancakes.
Ooh, yummy. CB says, I thought hungry hippos only ate marbles. Oh, wait. CB got 131 words. Woo! Tom says, hippos are probably the only thing that honey badgers make way for. Hi, Tom. Nice to see you. Glad you could join us. And Maggie says, 293, but I ran out to put the goats away. Nice. So does anyone have a story that they can read to us? I enjoy the content.
Sure.
Yes.
You might have been named in this, but...
Ooh.
Angelica had always loved my neighbor Totoro, the large fluffy creature that would hold a leaf as an umbrella and wait at a bus stop with their human friend. She wanted one of her own. Every night she would wish on the North Star that she would have a large animal friend too. But that night, after Angelica went to sleep, the North Star shivered and fell. It careened down the heavens, its tiny light illuminating the way. Past the atmosphere it fell, through the open window, and directly into the open mouth of Angelica's hippo purse. That morning, Angelica awoke to the pattering of gentle rain hitting her face. Groaning, she rolled over and closed the window. Her blankets were soaked. Ugh, no use trying to fall back asleep. Sighing, Angelica got out of her soggy bed and got ready for elementary school. Before dragging herself out the door to wait at the corner for the school bus, she grabbed her hippo purse that doubled as her pencil case. Let's go, Megan, she said dejectedly to her plush purse friend. Squish, 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 her shoes sounded against the sidewalk. Squish, squish, boom! Angelica screamed in surprise. Her purse was no longer small, and soft, and full of pencils. It was a ginormous hippopotamus, and she was riding on his back. Megan! Angelica cried. You're real! Megan, the 3,000-pound creature, merely huffed and waggled her ears. You can wait at the bus stop with me, Angelica said triumphantly. No one else has a friend hippopotamus. As they lumbered along, Angelica reached over and pulled a giant leaf off a tree and held it over her head, just like in the movie. Life was perfect. Soon the street corner came into view. There were 3 boys there already waiting for the bus. Hey, look! Angelica called out. I have a friend! But Megan took one look at those boys and charged. Snap, snap, gobble. All 3 went down her gullet. Megan! Angelica cried. Why did you do that? But the newly animated hippo just shrugged Angelica off her shoulders and into her awaiting jaws as well. For, as we all know, To wish upon a fallen star is to land in the ivory jaws of childhood dreams.
Nice. I loved it. I loved that the hippo was named Megan, and that Megan
like,
turned out to be so
this is actually
ferocious.
going to be a really cute story, and then
And then
That
it
was
turned into a Laura story.
It went Roald Dahl's revolting rhymes at the end.
That was great. I loved it.
Love it.
And then Maggie has sent hers, it seems like, so I'm going to have to check my Discord in just a second. CB says that is fabulous. And Maggie says that was awesome, which it was. Tom says the Rugrats Halloween episode we never got. Loved it, Laura. Okay, so let me open up the Discord. Oh, this one has my name in it too.
Yay!
Young Meg loved the elderly neighbor's house. Mrs. Waterton had the most whimsical hippo fountain in the front yard. That was how they met. Meg was playing in the splashing water one day after her sitter fell asleep watching TikTok. "What are you doing, little girl?" I just wanted to play with them. I love them." Megan clung onto the baby hippo statue's neck. The old woman smiled, then said, "Did you know that hippos were once honored as the protectors of family and home, that there was even a hippo goddess?" Meg shook her head with wide eyes. "I'll get you a towel. Come inside and I will teach you about Toweret." I'm going to pronounce it as Toweret. Mrs. Waterton led her inside, and that was the first of many amazing days and more amazing secrets. Now Mrs. Waterton was dead, and Meg could only pray the ancient woman had gone into the afterlife she wanted. Clenching her fists over the sealed box, Megan made herself open it. Inside were several hippo statues and a leather bag. Panting, she rushed into the bathroom and submerged it. Moments later, a tiny hippo no larger than a collie was swimming in the tub. Meg cried joyfully and laughed as it made hungry grunting and baying sounds at her as she fed it carrots and melon slices. "Toweret, how's our little enchanted baby?" Meg giggled. She rubbed and held the baby until it went to sleep. Then she sadly drained the water. As soon as the last drop drained, it turned back into a lumpy leather bag with a hippo face flap. "Don't worry, little one. I will always keep you safe." Oh, I like that one. That was cute. I want a baby hippo that I can put in the bathtub and turn into a baby hippo. So cute. I want one. Why is it not real? CB says Nancy Cartwright did the voice of Chucky Finster on the Rugrats. And said, "Aw." Yes, that was adorable. I loved it.
Did you write one, Carrie?
Yeah, Carrie, did you write anything that you can share?
All right, I'll read what I sent to Charlie.
Yes.
Okay, this is the next morning in the story, in my story.
Mm-hmm.
This is from what this has all been from what I've been calling the D&D plot bunny. So, Bridget woke the next morning but didn't feel fully rested. Sleeping in a strange environment made for light and uneven sleep, jumping at almost every sound made in the woods. But the smell of something wonderful cooking made her stomach roar. She dressed and stepped out of the tent. The sun wasn't even up yet, but there stood Billy cooking away at his camp stove. "Good morning, milady," he said as she sat down on a log. "Are you hungry?" "Yes," said Bridget. "Would you like some help? I usually help cooking at home." "Nah," said Billy. "I'm very particular about my process. You make yourself comfortable." He handed her a plate of eggs and sausage. "Did you sleep well?" "Not the best," Bridget admitted. "Can I ask, how did you end up here?" Billy shrugged. "Not an exciting tale. Had a good career, fell on hard times. No one wants to hire an old man like me, so the crows took me in." Bridget nodded and ate in silence for a minute. Well, my family would have hired you. Your food is delicious. You could cook for the royal court, I bet. Billy laughed. I appreciate that, miss. It's not in the cards for me. I'm happy to be of use here. It's not much, and people look down on us, but despite their reputation, we do good when we can. Bridget was silent for a moment. Had anyone else overheard Felicity that night? Before she could say more, Ashwin came out of their tent and joined them. Today they had on a long flowing top that came to their knees with leggings. Their hair was loose and wavy. It was quite lovely. When they sat down, they tied their hair back before accepting a plate from Billy. Uh-oh, Ash got dolled up, said Billy. You leaving us again? I promised I would get them to Dr. Corey, said Ashwin. I'll be back in a couple weeks. Just try not to cause too much trouble, said Billy. Ashwin fluttered their lashes. Why, Billy, what makes you say such a thing? Because I've watched you grow up being here these past 15 years, said Billy. I may as well be your daddy. Ooh, no thank you, said Ashwin, making a face. Not like that! Billy threw a spoon toward Ashwin, which they effortlessly dodged. Bridget roared with laughter as Billy muttered and grabbed another spoon.
That's great. I love it. I love the camaraderie of the group that you're showing so far. I want some eggs and sausage. That sounds delicious right now. I must be hungry because food just sounds good. Let's see. So I'm thinking of probably calling it at here-ish because it's been about more than 2.5 hours. Let's see.
2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah, so it's almost 5 o'clock here. So I think we should call it a day. Is there anything you guys would like to say before we go? Before we go, let me read off the other the two prompts that I have left in case you guys decide you need some inspiration. I believe Laura and Maggie came up with these two. I don't know who came up with which. But the horses are unsuitable for the terrain. You must domesticate the local hippos for your war animals. Which I love this. I love this prompt. I think I'm going to use it later for something. I don't know what. And then you ride your pet hippo to elementary school. What does it get up to while you were in class?
That one's also me.
Oh, okay, so both of them were Laura.
Yeah.
Nice. You and your clever mind just coming up with great ideas all the time. So
it seems to be starting to function again.
Sometimes you just need a break to let the inspirational content into your brain so then you can let it back out again. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, let's see. Maggie says, this has been so fun. I agree. This has been a really fun live stream. I enjoyed it. I think the purse one was my only one. Oh, yeah, the purse one we just did. You guys came up with quite a few prompts, though. I ran out of space for them all, but it was a refreshing change to the usual what we do. So
it's nice to have a theme.
Yes. Maggie says a break is a good thing for recharging the creative batteries. Yes. So did you guys want to do an outro or of some sort? Anything you have to say to the people before we go off into the wild yonder?
I don't know. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Laura Nettles. I have
fun stuff happens on there.
A website with a blog with some of my writing on it. If you want to read it, it's called lauranettles.com. So, yeah, that's it.
I'm gonna try and live stream on Twitch tomorrow.
Ooh.
I was going to do it yesterday, but I was stressed out about some things and not in a good space to write. So I went for like a 2.5 hour drive to calm myself down.
Oh wow, that is a long drive. Like,
I got ice cream.
Ice cream is amazing.
oh, we finally got
Like,
Girl
I
Scout
just picked a
cookies.
direction and went on the highway. I got off the highway and went, oh, there's a Dairy Queen.
I love Dairy Queen. They have like the best vanilla cones, I think, and vanilla is my favorite flavor of ice cream.
I have just been on this chocolate soft serve kick. Like, every time I pass a Dairy Queen, and they're few and far between around here, and I'm like, cone!
Nice.
I need to
Good
stop
night,
spending
sweetie.
money, but
It's hard being frugal. Like, there's just so many like shiny things. Like, ooh, I want that. I want this. I want that. This costs money. That costs money. It's just
yeah, the
never
trip Bessie
ends.
and I were planning is now in September.
Oh, so you have a little more time to plan
Yeah, and
and
it's
save
not
up.
in Missouri. It's still in Ohio.
Oh, nice.
Still far enough we'll need a hotel, but no
Mm,
12 hours in the car.
that's good.
Hooray.
Although I do like a nice long road trip. Like, those are some of my
It's
favorite
still like
memories
3
from as a
hours.
kid. 3 hours is a nice drive.
Mhm.
12 hours is like a long day, but can be fun.
Mhm.
And Maggie says, I was so happy to get my new tarot sets at a deep discount. Ooh. I still need to get
Oh, the
myself
ones
a
you were
tarot
showing
deck.
off last night, they're so pretty.
Oh, I miss them, I think.
They're in Charlie's Discord under, or is it Glory's?
I think it's in Glory's because she made a new channel called Look What I
Oh,
Got.
yeah.
Yeah.
I will be sure to check it out because I love tarot cards. All right. Well, thank you guys for showing up and having writing sprints with me and all the fun we've had. I've really appreciated having you all here. And I think I will end the broadcast now once I click the button. So see you guys later and have a great evening. Bye.
Bye.